you're on Initiative Africa. My name is Asha Sampath. Welcome to this new edition of your weekly magazine featuring Africa on the move through smart innovations and initiatives that work. Let's get on with the show with our top stories today. We speak to Greta Mensah this week, a Togolese actress living in Paris who has achieved her dream of taking the stage. But how do you get there when you're a young black actress in Paris? Greta Mensah was not afraid to try her luck at the theatre as well as in the movies. She's our guest today.
Je pense que les chaînes peuvent encore plus oser.
I think the networks can dare to go even further to support even more actors from diverse immigrant backgrounds. Producers can also support more actors from diverse backgrounds. And I think the public is ready to see actors of all colours and from all walks of life.
De tous les horizons.
Two sheep can change lives. Example with these Moroccan women who have made breeding their business. In 8 years, they have increased family income by 60%.
ماشي بحال كي كان إلا خاصها تبيع خصو ماشي يسلف ويدير الكريدي دروك لا كاع الناس اللي في الجمعية راه عندهم ديالهم وعندهم بهايم وما خصو خير.
Youth and climate activists. This is the mission of Vanessa, Nakate and Leah, Namugerwa. We met them in Kampala, Uganda.
I came here today to collect some plastics and take them to the dumping areas, as our mission is to beat pollution out of Uganda.
The making of candles, an activity that occupies the physically disabled in Cape Verde. It's an initiative of an association concerned with the autonomy of people with disabilities, thus contributing to their social integration.
Our principal objective is to create jobs and to provide professional training for people who are handicapped. We work mainly with handicapped women, as it is even harder for them to fit in economically and socially in our country.
Borrowing money to buy two sheep, the idea might seem risky in these mountainous areas of Al Haouz in Morocco, but these women have decided to take up the challenge offered by microfinance and to form a cooperative to succeed in improving their daily lives. Ultimately, more autonomy and growing income that now allows them to produce honey and olive oil. Take a look.
Fatima Aitel Hussein lives in a remote village in Morocco's Atlas Mountains. Not long ago, the only jobs women here could do were household chores and helping the men in the field. They couldn't travel anywhere on their own or manage their own money. But now Fatima says all that has changed.
تمشي المرأة للسوق تشري لولادها باش يعيدوا إلا مرضوا تمشي تشري لهم الدواء تشري لهم الشكارة ديال المدرسة والحمد لله المرأة راه ما تتسول الراجل تقول لي اعطيني ولا باش نمشي للسوق نشري كلشي موفرة عندها.
It all started with a simple idea: provide women with the means to start their own businesses. So in 2006, the government of Morocco and the UN's International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, set up a microfinance service, part of the Rural Development Project in the mountain zones of Al Haouz, where women were able to borrow enough money to each buy two sheep. The women joined together to form a cooperative so that they could consolidate their resources and manage their sheep business together. They sold some of their sheep during Eid al-Adha, the main religious festival, and used the wool to produce Berber carpets, which are sold as far away as Marrakesh. In just 8 years, the number of sheep has grown tenfold, and the women's new earning power, combined with other project-related activities, contributed to a 60% increase in household income. Fatima's husband, Hussein Ait Mansour, is very pleased with his wife's new role in the family, and like the other men in this town, he now accepts her as an equal.
ماشي بحال كي كان إلا خاصها تبيع خصو ماشي يسلف ويدير الكريدي دروك لا كاع الناس اللي في الجمعية راه عندهم ديالهم وعندهم بهايم وما خصو خير.
Najia Al-Karwate is also part of the cooperative. She says that working together is the key to their success.
عندهم الرغبة باش يباو داك المشروع داكشي علاش نجح المشروع حيت الا عندك الرغبة راه بغيت تنجح المشروع الا ما عندك الرغبة ما عندك سوق راه المشروع مشى.
These women have no intention of turning back. In fact, they're working to take their business a step further. With the income from their sheep, they bought beehives and olive trees. Najia was trained how to produce honey and olive oil and then taught the others to do the same, selling their products in the market. Now they're ready for what might be the most significant step yet. In a few weeks' time, they will start literacy classes, not just to help them further their business goals, but to pave the way, they say, for all women in the region who want to take charge of their own destinies. This project is a successful example of how economic development can bring gender equality to communities made up of women like Fatima.
As I mentioned earlier, our guest had the dream of becoming an actress, a profession not always well accepted by families who rely on long studies. Greta Mensah had to wait until she finished her merchandising degree in the United States to enter Parisian drama schools and find her way. Today she does not regret it at all. She shared her story with Laurent Soustras and Thierry Schiller.
Hello, Greta Mensah.
Bonjour.
Vous êtes une actrice.
You are a French actress of Togolese origin, very active in the recognition of African cinema. Where did your interest in cinema come from?
Since I was quite young, I was already a party girl, and I didn't immediately have the desire to become an actress. It was more during my teenage period when many people said to me, you should try theatre, I think it would suit you. And as time went by, I thought about it, and eventually I said to myself, but why not just try it out? Try it out to see. I took some acting lessons when I was young. I did small plays, only at school, and I liked it. I did not immediately pursue theatre as a career because we are very studious in my family. So I finished my studies, I got my bachelor's degree, I went to the United States, I got a degree in merchandising over there, and once I got back I said to myself, Greta, it's now or never. You have to throw yourself into your passion, and if you want to do it now. And that's when I started.
So how exactly did you get trained in theatre acting?
Alors j'ai commencé en rentrant dans une école qui s'appelle le Studio.
Well, I started when I got back at a school called the Studio Intérieur Jour.
J'ai décidé de faire le parcours cinéma.
Where there were two disciplines, theatre and cinema, and I decided to start with studying cinema. I stayed there 2 years, and then I went to a school called FACT, a Franco-American bilingual acting school, where I studied Anglo-Saxon theatre.
Voilà.
It's difficult for a young black actress to chase after castings. How has that been?
Alors, comment ça se passe? J'ai la chance.
Well, I'm lucky to have an agent who is quite efficient, so I have a lot of auditions at the moment thanks to him. Before, it was a bit more complicated for me. It's true, you really have to chase after auditions, register on all the audition sites, keep checking always, and also I think you have to create your own projects to get yourself noticed. I think that is one of the best ways to also draw attention to yourself, to set up teams, to create projects, to write and to show yourself, show your projects. Honestly, it was a bit more difficult 5 years ago, but really in the 2 last years, it has truly started to open up. There are a lot more auditions and much more of a demand for black actresses, whether in advertising, cinema, even television. There are a lot more roles, therefore it's becoming easier.
Facile.
How were your first experiences as a film actress?
Alors, j'ai commencé dans des projets étudiants.
I started with student projects. You often start with student projects, and they are often unpaid. They are for learning and getting pictures, and it's an adventure. Well, call it that. It's an adventure. Small teams, students, the equipment is school equipment. That's what it's like. But I think it's a good experience. It allows you to evolve, learn, and above all, to discover how a shoot works.
Have you seen progress in the casting of black artists? What more can be done?
Alors je pense que les chaînes peuvent encore plus oser.
I think the networks can dare to go even further to support even more actors from diverse immigrant backgrounds. Producers can also support more actors from diverse backgrounds. And I think the public is ready to see actors of all colors and from all walks of life.
Over time, you've met black actors and directors with whom you have formed a kind of community. How's that going?
Tout simplement, je me suis proposée pour des projets.
To put it simply, I worked on volunteer projects that were looking for black actors and black actresses, and because we worked together, they call us back, they suggest new roles for us, they even end up writing roles for us. And that is actually how we create solid connections. How we work on projects together every year, at least one project to have roles, to have pictures, so that the director and the actors can work too. And I think that it's a good way to create movies and wonderful projects.
Et de faire de beaux projets.
Welcome back to the second part of our show. I will now take you to Uganda, a country where very determined young women have become real actors in the fight against climate change. These Greta Thunbergs from the African continent do not hesitate to mobilize young people to participate in plastic recycling operations or to raise awareness in favor of alternative energies. Take a look. A light but persistent cloud of pollution floats above Kampala, the capital of Uganda. Like many metropolises on the continent, the city of 1.5 million inhabitants might appear, at first glance, resigned to traffic jams and the deterioration of the environment. But on certain weekends, small groups of students gather discreetly for a rather special mission: to collect plastic waste for recycling purposes.
Yes, I came here today to collect some plastics and take them to the dumping areas, as our mission is to beat pollution out of Uganda. What inspired me was that at our place there is a man who is a garbage collector. So I have been seeing him since my childhood doing that. He's the one who taught me, is the one actually who inspired me about doing that, because he said if we can do that, we can beat pollution, whereby it was our mission.
What also gave wings to the determination of Maurice and his friends with the example of Leah, Namugerwa and Vanessa Nakate, two young girls from Kampala determined to force the authorities to ban plastic bags.
Kampala is mostly polluted with plastic bags everywhere, and I doubt if anyone wants a dirty city. So I think people feel bad because of the plastics that are going on, and then our government implementing the ban and they're not enforcing it.
The plastic pickup activity, I carry it out every Saturday, and I always have a few friends that join me. In most cases we are 6 in number, and we choose a specific place where we go and do some cleaning, and also teach the people that it is important for us to have proper waste disposal. In Uganda, plastic was banned, but it was not implemented. We have the policies, but they have not been implemented. Therefore, it's up to us, the citizens, to actually put these policies into implementation and have plastic pollution completely kicked out of the country.
Raising awareness of the threat of global warming is at the root of Vanessa's environmental commitment. For Leah, the click came in October 2018 during catastrophic landslides which caused around 50 deaths.
I'd not seen the effects, how it is making people suffer. So when I really saw these disturbing images because of deforestation, what teachers were teaching us in schools, it really gave me a clear picture of what we should do because of climate change that is taking place and the climate crisis that we're suffering.
From there came a strong commitment. Leah, the high school student, is involved in schools to raise awareness and lead actions in favor of reforestation. For university student Vanessa, the activism approach has now taken the form of intense advocacy and climate strikes every Friday.
I started the strike about the Congo rainforest. I was really shocked to find out that there are many people out there who don't even know the existence of the Congo rainforest, yet it is the second largest in the world after the Amazon. So it is going under destruction and no one is even talking about it.
The continent, which emits only 4% of greenhouse gases, is significantly affected by climate change. However, these African activists sometimes find it difficult to break into the international scene. Example in 2020, when Vanessa finds herself excluded from the photo of young international climate activists alongside the young Swedish icon Greta Thunberg.
I feel like Africa is not getting the attention that it deserves to get, and we need more attention than ever before. This is because Africa is one of the least emitters of carbons, but it is going to be affected most by the climate crisis. In fact, we are already seeing the impact of climate change in Africa through the tycoons. We are seeing very many people dying and starving to death because of droughts, and we are having crazy floods in Kampala and in various parts of Africa. Therefore, we need more attention to Africa, to the African climate activists, because they have a lot to say and a lot to fight for. If we are to achieve climate justice, it will have to be a fair game, because most people think that Africa is not really that important, but actually people are dying in Africa.
Yet, in Kampala itself, it's not always easy to capture the attention of young people, as Maurice noted.
Like, I'm disappointed because I've been telling people, telling my friends to join me, and many feels like they're afraid to do so. Many of them have time, but I don't know, or else they were not taught about that. They need to be taught how it works and how bad it is.
This does not prevent these young people from the continent from following in the footsteps of Greta Thunberg by showing their commitment, investing in renewable energy and adding the fight against poverty to their demands, proving that behind the quest for a better environment, there is the promise of more prosperity for all. In Cape Verde, an association has given itself a mission to train people with motor disabilities and to provide them with employment in a candle factory in Praia. The results are outstanding, since it has become in a few years the first national production of candles in the country. Paulo Lima has followed this exemplary chain of social integration for us. Take a look.
Spotlight, or rather candlelight, on a development project to help physically handicapped people in Cape Verde. The country's leading producer of candles turned its back on mere mercenary considerations and, with funding from a German NGO, bought equipment to set up a unique project. The people working on the production line are handicapped, and most of them are women.
Our principal objective is to create jobs and to provide professional training for people who are handicapped. We work mainly with handicapped women, as it is even harder for them to fit in economically and socially in our country. We are also trying to give a positive image of the handicapped person in the world of work.
Here's a system that reintegrates handicapped people into society and gives them back their dignity. The profits pay the workers' wages and also go to finance the association's social projects. Maria Lopes is one of the women working on the production line. Despite her handicap, she can now earn a living and support herself. After following a training course in Germany, Maria became something of a specialist in candle production.
I think it's a fine initiative. I often tried unsuccessfully to find work. Then I went to see the president of the Cape Verde Handicapped Association and was immediately accepted to participate in the training program. After that, I found work here in the center. I feel very happy.
She now trains other workers, thereby increasing the number of producers. The initiative is a great source of pride and satisfaction for her. The current setup provides employment for 8 people, but more equipment is needed in order to increase production. As a rule, new machinery means less workers, but not here. Output is increased, but almost the entire process remains manual. The results have been so impressive that the experience could well serve as an example to other countries across the continent.
Naturally, we will have to take on more people and give them training. This means that the people who followed the training given by the director of the factory in Germany in 2004 have an important role to play. We would like to work with other Portuguese-speaking nations, such as Angola, Guinea-Bissau, Sao Tome and Mozambique. We are ready to welcome people from these countries and provide them with training.
As a rule, new machinery means less workers, but not here. Output is increased, but almost the entire process remains manual. The results have been so impressive that the experience could well serve as an example to other countries across the continent. Despite such promising results, production is currently down due to a lack of raw materials, and new molds are needed for the decorative candles. There's also stiff competition from imported candles, but Maria is confident that the quality of the association's candles, especially the decorative range, will see them through.
I think that our candles are a better quality product. I've sold the candles to lots of people, and they all agree that the candles produced at the Cape Verde Center for Rehabilitation of Handicapped People last longer. The problem is that people tend to have more faith in importing goods, but I guarantee you that we produce excellent quality candles.
Como é coisa que está fazendo Lídia, essa flana, coisa que está fazendo Lídia Cabale, mas é assim.
Motivated by the progress it has already made, the center is now planning to produce liquid soap. The association already has equipment offered by a German NGO. But new partners are needed if the association is going to be able to successfully increase output and diversify. It's significant that the association has developed its project almost entirely without the help of national institutions.
We need partners to help the association expand and take on more people. We also need to diversify our range of products. We aim to satisfy local demand, because imported products cannot.
To distribute its products, the association has opened its own boutique, employing handicapped people. Their main objective is to obtain a larger share of the market, to produce more, and create new employment opportunities, and maybe one day to snuff out the import market as well. If they are to succeed in increasing output and providing more jobs, they are going to need more equipment. A little more incentive and a certain amount of protection from the state would be more than welcome. Then the handicapped citizens of Cape Verde would no longer have to subsist like so many candles in the world.
Let's get back to Greta Mensah for the final part of our interview this week. She shares with us her admiration of the Nigerian film industry, Nollywood, and its stars and celebrities, and she herself has now become one of the French voices of this industry.
Greta Mensah, what are your relationships with the continent? You are of Togolese origin. Do you want to work with a director from the continent?
Yes, absolutely. I will never say no. All that matters to me is a great story, a character who has an interesting development. But I'm totally open to projects in Africa.
And do you have relationships with these directors and actors, or do they not really dare to come to actors from the diaspora?
Unfortunately, I don't really have any relationships with African directors. In any case, Togolese, because I'm Togolese. Recently, I was in contact with some directors via L'Afrique fait son cinéma, an African and Afro-descendant film festival held in Paris, and they offered me a few things. Now, the problem is the lack of means. That's really it. You know, a lot of people want to do things with actresses from the diaspora, and many diaspora actresses also want to work on projects with African directors and filmmakers. What we need to put in place now, I think, is the means to do it.
And what means exactly should be put in place?
I think we need to further develop co-production, the France-Togo, France-Cameroon, France-Senegal co-production. There are quite a few. I saw that Canal Plus is doing a lot of co-productions at the moment. Therefore, we need to continue to develop these in order to have the means to work together.
Are there directors or actors from the continent in particular who inspire you?
Yes, for me it would be many of the actresses from Nollywood, from Nigeria and Ghana, like Mercy Jones, for example, who I dubbed when I started voice dubbing. Also there's Adezuwa Itomi, who is a famous actress in Nigeria, whom I like a lot. I love her acting. And also Genevieve Najo, who is one of the first actresses I dubbed and who now lives in the United States. I adore her, I like her a lot. There are a lot of African actresses who really inspire me.
And they inspire you because of their style, of their acting range? What is it that inspires you?
The range of roles that they can play, really, because before I didn't really know African actresses and even fewer from Nigeria, because I'm from Togo. And when I discovered the movies and the actresses they could produce, I loved it, really. I loved the acting, I loved the stories. There's a lot to show. There's a lot to do in Africa, and I think Nigeria manages to show us. And, you know, actors and actresses, I'm not forgetting them, also Nigerians manage to show us that.
And Nollywood, for example, is it something that makes you dream?
Yes, really, I'm proud. I'm not even Nigerian, but I'm proud of what they do. And I would honestly love to act in Nigeria or Ghana and be a part of Nollywood and of the development of the film industry in Nollywood. Really, I'm truly happy and proud. It's also thanks to Nollywood, which in a way, they opened the path for us, truthfully. So I'm really happy that they started and we will follow.
Speaking of development, are you interested in the work of young, aspiring actors from the continent? What advice would you give to a young actress, for example? Is the industry as glamorous as it seems?
The industry is glamorous, but you always start at the bottom of the ladder. You always have to start somewhere. And the advice I would give is experience above all, being trained as an actor, because you can have a gift. But like all professions, you have to gain experience. That's the first thing. I know it's not easy in Africa. There's not really a school yet. Certain countries have schools such as Benin, Nigeria too, but I am aware of several theatre internships each year in many African countries, including Togo. And really, I recommend that all aspiring actors and actresses learn as much as they can and gain experience in the profession.
How do you see yourself in the future? Is directing an area that would interest you?
Yes, but that's really something for later. For now, I'm starting to write, so I'll start writing first, then I'll see about directing. But later, I can see myself directing projects.
Greta Mensah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, that's it. Initiative Africa is over for today. And of course, you can find the interview of Greta Mensah and the replay of our programs on our website, africaonair.com, as well as on all our social media channels. Feel free to share, like and comment with the hashtag Initiative Africa TV show. And don't forget, next week, same time, same channel, I'll see you again with a new edition of Business Africa. Have a great week, everyone. Take care and goodbye.